PWC has an internship program in which we bring college students to PWC to work, usually for the summer, and they work in various departments throughout the company. Internships are important to PWC and to the student because they mesh the work that we need to have done with the experience that they get outside of the classroom. It is one thing to learn about theory and to learn from a textbook. It's quite another to see that put to work, to see it applied in the workplace, whether it be surveying or performing GIS type work, or it may be actual legal or accounting work. It's an invaluable experience that will put them ahead of their students in the classroom as well as when they go to find a full-time job. Some of the benefits and perks of an internship at PWC include a decent pay. It also includes performing work of value to the company connected with their field of study. We have many departments at PWC, and each one of those utilizes internships at one time or another. For instance, in our Water Resources division, we have interns working in watersheds, working at the various plants that we have, as well as working in water resources construction and engineering. We have interns and internship positions in our legal department, in accounting, and in our communications and customer relations department. The qualifications to be an intern at PWC include that their major or field of study must match an area that we have at PWC. For instance, we have had several civil engineers work in engineering departments where what they are studying provides a value to PWC and matches with our needs as far as projects and work that needs to be done. PWC values the internship program because of its importance in our community. It also helps our relationships with the universities in and around Cumberland County and in the state of North Carolina. Students should start looking at our website for internship opportunities during the Christmas break so they can hit the ground running when the spring semester starts. I would encourage students currently in school to apply for internships at PWC if our work matches their interests and field of study. I also encourage all students to apply for an internship, or at least look for a job that they can do that will look good on their resume. It shows an employer that they are willing to work, are willing to learn, and know and can do a lot more than just what they learned in a textbook.
I found out about this internship by way of a friend. He's also an environmental science major. He showed me a clipping in a newspaper article, and I applied. As an environmental science major, I would like to work for the state or federal government at some level. It seems like they get treated well and you have some job security. With that type of degree, I have friends who do stormwater inspections. They actually work here in the city of Fayetteville. I'd like to get a job like that as well one day. This is my first internship, but I've had other jobs before. I was in the Navy Reserve for 8 years. If we did anything out in the field, we had to make sure we returned it to a similar state, or if not better, when we left. So from that aspect, I've had a little bit of experience, but not a whole lot. This summer, we've worked on several projects. With the fire breaks, we try to maintain the fire breaks where if we have a fire, we can get to it in a timely manner. And by maintaining them, we drive on them, so sometimes we have problems with erosion. So we try to mitigate that by placing interlocking blocks. Also, we've tried to combat invasive species, mainly in the water. We've had hydrilla and elodea that we've treated. Also, some invasive plants on the land that we've combated, Chinese privet as well as wisteria. Another project that we work on is we track the red-caulcated woodpeckers, the trees that they might nest in. They typically prefer the older trees that have been infected by a particular fungus, but it allows them to burrow in a little bit easier because it takes several years for them to make a cavity suitable for nesting. Down by the water, we were taking water samples. We run several different tests. We were getting dissolved oxygen readings, temperature readings, conductivity. As far as the dissolved oxygen, if it's just a good indicator. If it's below a certain level, you'll know that certain species of animals won't be able to survive. And if it drops to a low enough level, the water will become anoxic, meaning there is no oxygen in the water. And all the watersheds that we manage eventually become drinking water. So we need to have an idea of what's going on out there. Otherwise, we'll have to fix it at some point. In a school setting, you can learn a lot of different things, but they don't really have a meaning. But here you can see where the practicality of things, you can see where the reason why dissolved oxygen would be important. When it was a lot warmer in June, we got out, or we started coming in about 7 o'clock in the morning. So we came in a little earlier and we got out into the field a little earlier, and I saw there were two, I think 8-point bucks. They crossed our path. So there's a lot of wildlife out there, and I enjoy seeing that. I just appreciate the opportunity PWC gave me. I'd like to thank them for that.
I was excited to work at PWC more for the experience. Being that I had been in the workforce for 11 years prior into a different field, it was all about having experience. And PWC is providing me one of the opportunities to get my foot in the door to have that experience needed. My major, I'm going for a Bachelor of Science in Accounting. I would like to work for a bigger accounting firm eventually and then get the experience there to eventually open my own. Right now in capital projects, we work with two systems. One's called WAM, one's called EBS. One's for work orders and one's more for like assets. When PWC performs work, whether it's on the water side, the electric side, or even the sewer side, we get to see the final cost of all those work orders and as the procedures are going through, and we have to verify that the costs are correct and that one system is talking to the other so they're right all across the board. My favorite part about interning this summer is actually the people at PWC. Wherever I go or when I have to walk down different halls, going to my lunch break, coming into work, everyone seems really friendly. It's much different than working in a retail environment. My most memorable experience at PWC so far, it was actually recently we got to do inventory. So I actually got firsthand experience of going to the yard, checking out the warehouse, and got to meet a lot of great people out there. I would definitely recommend interning at PWC to anybody. The environment's great, the people are friendly, you'll get firsthand experience in the related fields you're at, and it'll help you get on your path. My advice to future PWC interns would be make the most of it. You know, at times you're going to be doing work that you love, sometimes you're going to do some work that you might find not as interesting, but it's part of your field. I'd take it all in and use that experience to grow.
I was a marketing intern at the Fayetteville Regional Chamber from January to April, and my supervisor at the chamber had recommended that there was an internship available at PWC and that I should look into it. Upon further investigation, I put in my application and I was eventually asked back for an interview, and it's all history from there. I decided to go with PWC because it's a larger organization, and I thought that there would be more opportunities to see some of the theories that I had learned about in school put into play on a larger scale. I am a senior at Methodist University, and I am studying mass communication. You can do everything from public relations to journalism to marketing, and I want to be able to do a little bit of everything that I can with it. But eventually the dream is to own my own public relations firm. I've been working on everything from articles for the internal newsletters, signs which are displayed in the customer service center. I've helped in the assistance of the production of this TV show, which I love. I've been able to do a lot of different things. I use mostly Microsoft Office at my computer. Cameras, I'm taking pictures, we're constantly going to different places and participating in different events, so I get to have a hand in that and help document. Some of the most surprising aspects of this internship are the fact that we get to travel around and participate in events. I had initially been expecting a desk job where I would be writing things and documenting things, but I was surprised with the fact that I got to go out and see different people and see PWC's role in the community. I love the fact that it opens doors for interns' potential employment somewhere down the line. It helps the interns gain experience, but it also opens doors for other opportunities as well. I love being able to see the fluidity. Public relations is a very reactionary field, and that's something that you can't really learn in class. It's something that you can only experience. So I've really enjoyed being able to see that. The first thing about the PWC internships is that they're very organized, and that is something I very much value. I love knowing that somebody is there and they're wanting to help me learn. I've also been very impressed with the fact that the PWC team seems to really value the benefit to the intern, the actual education process, and taking away, that the intern leaves having taken something away.